tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Hello. I have no idea how long this one will be. I don't even know what I'm going to talk about yet. We'll see. Hey, Amber. Good to see you. Now, this is for my listeners only. Amber's the only one I told that I went live. Otherwise, whoever shows up, man. And post it anywhere. And nah. I don't see a reason. Like I said, I'm not even sure what I'm going to talk about yet. If I'm going to talk about anything, I don't know. A lot of stuff going on in the world, right? You know, let's talk about priorities. I think that's a good place to start. Priorities. I've been kind of having a tough time getting people to, do a little bit of service work at grassroots meeting. Yes, I'm going to use it as an example. I understand people get busy. I really do. I really, really do. I didn't think you'd want to hear me yelling and shit. Exactly. No, you're fine, baby. Yeah, it wasn't you. I was blocking my voice so you didn't have to hear me ramble. That's what I was doing. So, my life. Let's talk about priorities. Yeah, and this is the way that I feel. Not everybody needs to feel the same way. No worries there. But I remember, 9 years ago, the desperation that I felt that I would do anything, that I would do any fucking thing in this world to get rid of that obsession for alcohol. And I fucking meant it. I meant it. Right? When recovery is not the priority, life's going to be a lot tougher. For me, taking an hour out of my day in order to help out a system that helped me out, saved my life, brought my family back together, is almost a top priority. Now, I get it. Not everybody needs to go to meetings every day. If you go to 2, 3 a week, I mean, that's entirely up to you. But for me, I drank every day. So therefore, I go to meetings every day. May not be the same meeting, but I will get to a meeting. Today, I went to a meeting where nobody knew me. Actually, there were people there that did know me, but I wasn't the center of attention. I didn't have to do nothing. I just got to listen. And I didn't speak either. No, I just listened. It's not something I do very often, but there were plenty of people talking, and they didn't really need my input. Sorry, Katie. Didn't mean to kick you. All right. So, but priorities, man. And I know I keep saying this. I understand everybody gets busy. You know, I don't necessarily work per se. Um, though there are a lot of things that need to get done. But yeah, it's tough to. How am I going to go to a group of people and say, get off your asses and sign up to chair? When AA becomes a convenience, that's the problem. See, sometimes we get through that initial thing, oh, it's not so bad anymore. And you forget that you made a promise, that you made a commitment to God to help his children. I said, God, I'm willing to go to any length. Am I inconvenienced quite often by having to check all the time? Happened on Friday. It happened to me 3 times this week. And this was just this week where it falls to me, what is going on in these Zoom meetings that people are just so scared to commit? I'm hearing, I go in the group and in the chat and I say, hey, we need some help here. And all I do is get a bunch of excuses as to why we're not there. It's what I got. I don't need those. I'm solution oriented. All right. I'm solution oriented. I started that group for a very good me. I don't, for it, I started it with selfish reasons. And I was very clear about that. Absolutely. Because I wanted my own home group at a time that worked for me. Not only that, but there were no 5 o'clock. There were no online Zoom meetings at 5 o'clock in Colorado. So we created one at 5, and it seems to be working. We get newcomers. We get a lot of newcomers. What's worse is I've been doing everything that I can to make sure that I am not the one in power or control, but everybody in the group seems to be okay with me making decisions until it affects them. And then suddenly there's a problem. And then the division starts. See, I find it curious that somebody got upset with me in the group. And at the same time, everybody started stopping because they saw the division. They felt the division. And when that happens, fear crops up, and most people will turn a blind eye to it. It's frustrating because I continue to ask for help, but because I am a white male, people think I just got it covered. It's not cool to just put everything on 1 or 2 people in these meetings. Oh, thank you all for being here. Fuck off. Chair a meeting. God, it's not as tough as it seems. We've got to get over these humps. We got to be better. We got to be better. I'll tell you now, I'll let that meeting go before I let the daily trudge go. And I will move on. I will just find another meeting. And it's a good meeting. We consistently have 12 to 15 people, which is about average size. We don't promote. It's an attraction. But when people feel division, when they feel things are off, they will not come back. And in this meeting, I'm doing everything from greeting to hosting to doing the timer. I often read. I quit volunteering to read in the meeting because there's plenty of other people there that can do it. I'm getting frustrated. When I have to 10th step my own home group, something's wrong, man. I like things organized and things like that, but there's several service opportunities. And the people in Zoom, particularly, yes, the people in Zoom tend to, oh no. Here, I'll give you an example. Boom, I'm no longer available, am I? That's what it was. That's what it is. Oh, I'll just turn my camera off. But I was talking about priorities. All right. Hello, Michelle. Good to see you. Good to have you. Good afternoon, Leisure. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on. Yeah. Same three people. Imagine that. And it's the same people that do all the work in the meeting. It's not coincidence. It's not by mistake. So let me preface something first. There are people that are helping in the meeting. There are, and it is much appreciated. All right. Now, what happens is the same people will volunteer to do it, and I become reluctant. And here is why. Because it is burning me out. And what I don't want it to do is burn you out too. Now we have two burned out people, and I don't want to do that to somebody else. It's not fair. At the same time, I don't know how much they can handle. Can they? They might be able to handle more than me. I don't know. Okay. And considering I started the meeting, I tend to take it a little personal, which probably not the best thing. Right. But it's tough when I hear excuses. Oh, I'm just so, you know, I have 4 kids and 5 grandkids, and that's just the beginning of my fucking problems too. I've been broke for 6 months, been on a ramen diet for 6 months. Had to go in and out. My wife had to have surgery. Did that stop me from showing up to the meeting? Did it stop me from participating, from being a part of it? No, it did not. We got to stop making excuses to say no and start looking for the reasons to say yes. And eventually, that meeting will just be full of people that want to do service work. You go to an in person meeting, if there's no chairperson, people clamor over who's going to chair. But at a Zoom meeting, everybody hides their head in the sand. We are not ostriches. I get it. I have mental illnesses too. That's why I ask God for the courage, for the help. It isn't always easy for me to come on here. It isn't always easy for me to do these other things, but I made a commitment, and I'm tired of being a dishonest, fucking lying piece of shit. I don't want to be that person anymore. I'm trying to build my fellowship, but for me, it's a give and take basis, man. Okay. The fact that we called it Dion's meeting for a while and finally got away from that is actually a very, very good thing. And that's one thing that's bothering me. I've done everything that I can to relieve the fact that Dion has a lot of power and control over the meeting. I've been trying to relinquish it, and then to be called and then to be told that that's what I'm doing. Fuck off. I don't need that shit. If you want to go do the 7th tradition and put the bank account under your social security number, great. Then go ahead and do it. Right? But I'm going to tell you, if you do not give back to the program that saved your life, well, you might stay sober for a little bit. And do you think that does that end? Does somebody do so much service work? Because if so, then I'm done. I've done all the service work I need to do. See, it's not going to work, is it? You already know that's not going to work out. What do we call this? We call it resting on our laurels. So I'm a bit frustrated by it. I keep bringing it up, but nobody says anything. Not nobody. There's a couple people that have said something, and I appreciate that. I really do. But it's the same people. Everybody needs to help out. It is our meeting, not my meeting. If we want it to be my meeting, then we're going to talk about what Dion wants to talk about, and I'll just turn it into a big book study every day, and I will be the only one talking. There we go. How's that? Not going to work, is it? No, it won't. It isn't called Dion's AA meeting. That's when I get accused for doing exactly what I'm trying to do. And I've been very transparent on everything going on. You know, and I don't mind doing some service work in there. But when I show up and I can't even, and there's 12 to 15 people and I can't find anybody else to chair, I'm going to tell you something that after a while, it gets to you. I've been running the meeting for 10 months now. Come on, let's get some motivation going on. Yeah, we got it. We got it. Something's got to change on it, man. You know, um, I appreciate the meeting as much as anybody else, but there's plenty of meetings out there too. There's plenty of people in the world. I'm trying to let people get to know me a little bit better, to stick around with something, things like that. I mean, we're not even really, we're pretty close to breaking tradition and shit. We don't have a GSR. I'm the central office delegate. I'm the CPC delegate. I'm the treasurer. I'm the host. I'm the co-host. I chair the meetings. I run the timer. I make flyers. I put them out. I work in the community to bring in more new people. Nobody else in the meeting does that. We got to start inviting more people. We got to get more people in that meeting. In fact, it should be, you know, maybe we should, maybe this is the rule. If you reach 30 days, you have to chair at least once a month if you want to hang out in this meeting. See, it won't work. You can't make rules. So how do I motivate these people? Because I found that when asking and pleading or being assertive and stuff like that don't work, that my anger will come through. That'll get everybody motivated. I'll just go in the meeting and get angry. And I tell you, that sheet of paper to sign up for chair people will fill up. It'll fill up. But I don't want to go that route. I don't. If you want to be in AA, then you need to participate, man. You need to participate. Quit sitting in the back, hiding behind your fucking camera, acting like you're actually. There are times when I see people log into AA meetings, they're playing video games, they're doing this other shit. And the only reason that they're even there is so that their significant other hears them in a meeting, but they're not a part of that meeting. You can get away with that in in-person meetings. Not to mention that I also do all the verifications. I put together the format. I could go on and on and on about the things that I do in the meeting that I shouldn't have to do every day. There should be a new chairperson each day. Or what happens is the meeting will get stagnant. And then people will leave and the meeting is over. That's exactly what will happen. There are a couple meetings out there I helped started that are still around. Maybe, just maybe, I know what I'm doing. Now, the contention, actually, I'm going to read a couple things other people. Michelle says, I'm glad we're talking tomorrow so I could probably host even from my phone. I'd rather you didn't host from your phone, but yeah, it's not going to be as easy. I will tell you that. Leisure says, I Zoom meetings now, LOL. I've seen people playing video games during in-person meetings. That's true too. Yeah. Yeah. Coloring. Actually, coloring, you can color and listen at the same time. But I tell you now, if I'm in an in-person meeting and I see that you're over there playing Galaga on your phone and you come up to me with a slip, my answer is going to be no. Be like, no, you were here physically, but you did not participate. I'll write in here. They were here playing video games. Would you like me to put that in there? Or would you like to go to a different meeting, see if you can get somebody else to sign it for you? I'm weird on that stuff. Right? Even right down to every day, I change the name of the meeting. There are so many little things that I do before the meeting even starts that people don't even know about. Just to make it a little bit smoother. I've done hard work on separating what is what. And even when somebody is hosting, a lot of times they forget because it's not set up correctly. It's not it. That's nobody's fault. It's just the way it is. But there are things that we're supposed to post. Oh, I do that too. I'm also the person that restates the topic every time somebody comes in the room that doesn't know the topic yet. Everything. All right. So priorities. I think I kind of beat that into the ground on that. You know. Now Sundays are always frustrating for me for some reason. I don't know what it is. Maybe Sundays are frustrating for me because I continue to say Sundays are frustrating for me. That could be the problem right there. Because nothing's really going on, nothing's happening. So maybe it's because I kind of take the day off and stuff. Who knows? Maybe I need to talk to my therapist about that. Make my Sundays a little bit better. But the hard one for me to swallow is, when you go in there and you start to get angry at somebody else for doing something that they're not doing, it creates division in the group, and that is the one thing that ticks me off. It ticks me off. And I did not remove the person from the group, but they made it quite apparent that they weren't happy with me. This passive aggressive behavior in WhatsApp and shit. That group is there for information only. Posting your book clubs and things like that are not supposed to be going in there. If you want to start a book club, go start your own WhatsApp group, and then you can be the admin and let people in and kick people out. Then you can do it. But it's more responsibility than you'll ever know. Amber was saying, I was going to post a topic yesterday, but I was confused on it. Yeah, I think everybody was kind of confused. Sometimes the topics are a little confusing. I'm like, yeah. Topics need to be simple and to the point. Even then, I will admit, sometimes I think that I came up with a simple topic. I'll bring it up, and people are like, yeah, dude, we don't get it. And then I'm like, well, I don't really get it either. But when you have to chair 3-4 times a week and come up with a topic every single time, it gets tough. It gets tough to not repeat yourself. Maybe every time I'm forced to chair, I'll just make it acceptance. All right. I think I've done enough talking today. I think it's time to go put some action into my life. And that action is going to be, I'm going to go make a drop at Goodwill. I don't know. I just got a post that the room's open for the 3 o'clock. But the last 2 days I've gone, hasn't been, it's been tough. Right. Oh. I get it, Amber, but there's a difference between meetings and a book club. The way I think about it, then you are correct. Actually, then you're correct. So no posting other meetings on either. It's the grassroots meeting. I'm not really that upset about a book club. I'm not. Okay. But I have had 3 or 4 people come to me saying that chat pisses them off. That there's 20, you open it up and there's 20 messages about really nothing. But that's how it goes. That's just how chats go. I don't know about anybody else, but I have that conversation muted. When I have one that dings a lot and irritates the fuck out of me, yeah, I'll mute that conversation. That's what I do. So at the same time, I want people to feel free to share in there and ask questions and do those things too. So I can't really be like, oh, we can only talk about these things in this group. There we are with another rule that just isn't going to work. So, and Amber, I'm going to kind of break down what you said. It says you've encouraged people to post other meetings before. Okay. How come I'm the only one that's encouraging that? Why is it Dion? Why is it Dion? See what I mean? I'm not going against what you said. What I'm saying is it's unfair to put it all on me. That's not totally fair to me, right? But I did do that, and I'll admit it. Amber said pissed me off too, but that's my own feeling, and I could choose a 10-step, or I can poop bananas. Yep. That's why I 10-step with you today, huh, Amber? All right. So if you're thinking about it or whatever, and maybe you have an idea, hey, Dion, maybe you try this, you try that, I'm willing to listen. Feel free to send them to me. Maybe you've tried a different way and and it worked. I'd be happy to hear it. And thank you to everybody that does help in that meeting. Absolutely, I do appreciate it. Amber says there can be 2 chats, one for fellowship and one for business. We tried that at 3 p.m. and everybody confuses it. So, but we can also, see, that's the problem. Now there's a lot of little things that need to be taken care of. And that is a great idea if somebody is willing to take over the chat, because I ain't doing it. I can't add any more on. I already let go of central office. Delegate, I'm not going to do it anymore. Ain't showing up. Not until some of my time is relieved. And then CPC, I've let go too. Next thing will be the Wednesday meeting. I'll just cut the whole meeting, because the more it's put on me, the less I can get done with my stuff. And it's got to be evened out. I hope that makes sense. Is it what I want? No, I don't. I want the group to get to 7 days a week. So, now and I hear that too, Amber. I can stay up and go to the night owls. So 5 p.m. is not a good time. It's not a good time for you. 5 is a good time for me. And Amber and I are not arguing. I tell you that right now. The reason that we started the meeting at 5 p.m. is because there are no other meetings at that time. We were fulfilling a need. And I want you to answer me honestly. If we changed it to 5:30, do you think people would still have the same excuses? Or do you think that it would fill up? Or will we have less people because there's 10 million 5:30 meetings? See, I had to take all of that into consideration. So, and I know it's not a good time for you, or I would have put it at 5:30. But we're just going to get mixed up with everybody else. We do it at 5:30. Maybe that's a discussion for tomorrow. So thank you, Amber. I appreciate that. And I could stay up later, but that would mean that I would need to wake up later. And I'm already getting up at 9, 10 o'clock. So, but that is one of the things that I am working on. That's why I did a 5 p.m. to help me be up later and stuff. So, and it worked for people who have now dipped. Okay, well, let's bring that up tomorrow then. I think that's fair because I did think of that too. I was thinking about writing the group and saying, hey, if we switch this to 5:30, would it be easier for everybody? So let's take that into consideration. I'm willing to do that. I can give it a, I'll give my day an extra half hour. I'm willing to do that if it means that we're going to be a group. At the same time, it'll be hard for me to trust it considering, yes, we'll go to 6 days a week and we got your back, Dion, yet here I am without my back being covered when it shouldn't even be in that situation. So I'm a little reluctant to believe some people. Actions speak. We'll keep plugging. And I would probably take about half of what I said with a grain of salt. So who knows? But these are just kind of things that we go through and growing pains, things like that. But what I want is for the meeting to succeed. That's what I really want. I want it to be where if I don't show up for 3 or 4 days, so what? That's where it needs to be at. The meeting can't be dependent upon Dion. It's got, that part has got to end. And it isn't because it's unfair, it's because that's the way AA meetings are supposed to run. All right. Well, we'll keep plugging away. We'll keep plugging away. Be doing the right things, right? I'm debating on whether I'm going to go to the 3 o'clock meeting. The question is, will I add more confusion than harmony? And at the moment, I might add more confusion. But here I am. But here I am again, back to the beginning. I made a commitment in the beginning to God when I pleaded for my life. And I owe. I said I would do anything. And he lifted my obsession. So I must stand ready and be willing to do anything that helps me keep my recovery. Leisure says, thank you for all for you do and being a part of my sobriety. And thank you for leisure. Thank you for that, Leisure. I needed that. I know it doesn't seem like I don't need encouragement, but I'm going to tell you, I do. Just like everybody else, I need encouragement too. And you showing up, and Amber and Michelle showing up for everything that I do. Yeah, you two are Virgo too. You understand what that means to me. And thank you. From the bottom of my fucking heart. Thank you. I love you for it. And I love you, Leisure, for always being there for me, for being willing to pick up the phone when I call. Yeah. So maybe what I'll do is this. I'll go to the 3 p.m., turn off my camera and make a delivery to Goodwill. All right. We'll see what happens. All right. But I can't sit here and say this and then turn around and not be willing to do it myself. So I better go so I can get there so I can co-host and kick out the trolls. I'll go kick out the trolls. They were in abundance yesterday. At least the trolls keep me a little entertained. All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. I appreciate it. This isn't as heavy as it sounds. It really isn't. I'm sure that Dion's making a little bit more of it than it actually needs to be. There's a good chance of that. All right. Thank you, everybody. I love you. You know I do. Peace out and have a day.